Yamunatira vanachare Yamunatira vanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Javiyare Jaya Gopinjana Valava Girivaridare Yashodanananda Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanananda Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachare Yamunatira Vanachare Jai Radha Madhava Javiyare Jaya Gopinjana Valava Girivaridare Jaya Gopinjana Valava Girivaridare Yashodanananda Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanananda Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachare Yamunatira Vanachare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhu Astak Saki Vrinda ki Jai, Nrsimhade Bhagavani ki Jai, Shri Shri Panchatattva Bhagavani ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Grandraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Nitai Shri Gaura Premanande. All glories to our assembled devotees, all glories to our assembled devotees, all glories to our assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Narayana namaskritya, Narachaiva narottamam, Devim sarasvatim vyasam, Tato jayamudirayat, Nashtapraya svabhadresu, Nityam Bhagavatam sevaya, Bhagavati uttamasloke, Bhakti bhavati naistiki, Om namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, entitled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. And today we are treating text 25. So, adabhra-karuṇo bhagavān vivṛddha. prema-smitena nayanāmburuham vijṛmbhan. Utthāya viśva-vijayāya ca no viṣādam. Mādhvyā girāpanayatāt puruṣaḥ purāṇaḥ. Asau adabhra-karuṇo bhagavān vivṛddha. Prema-smitena nayanāmburuham vijṛmbhan. Utthāya viśva-vijayāya ca no viṣādam. Mādhvyā girāpanayatāt puruṣaḥ purāṇaḥ. Asau adabhra-karuṇo bhagavān vivṛddha. Prema-smitena nayanāmburuham vijṛmbhan. Utthāya viśva-vijayāya ca no viṣādam. Mādhvyā girāpanayatāt puruṣaḥ purāṇaḥ. Try. Asau adabhra-karuṇo bhagavān vivṛddha. Prema-smitena nayanāmburuham vijṛmbhan. Utthāya viśva-vijayāya ca no viṣādam. Mādhvyā girāpanayatāt puruṣaḥ purāṇaḥ. Asau adabhra-karuṇo bhagavān vivṛddha. Prema-smitena nayanāmburuham vijṛmbhan. Utthāya viśva-vijayāya ca no viṣādam. Mādhvyā girāpanayatāt puruṣaḥ purāṇaḥ. Mataji's. Asau adabhra-karuṇo bhagavān vivṛddha. Prema-smitena nayanāmburuham vijṛmbhan. Utthāya viśva-vijayāya ca no viṣādam. Mādhvyā girāpanayatāt puruṣaḥ purāṇaḥ. Word for word translation. Saha, he, the Lord. Asau, that. Adabhra, unlimited. Karuṇaḥ, merciful. Bhagavān, the personality of Godhead. Vivṛddha, excessive. Prema, love. Smitena, by smiling. Nayanā-amburuham, the lotus eyes. Vijṛmbhan, by opening. Utthāya, for flourishing. Viśva-vijayāya, for glorifying the cosmic creation. Cha, as also. Naha, our. Visham, viṣādam, dejection, mādhvyā, by sweet, girā, words, apanayatāt. Let him kindly remove puruṣaḥ, the supreme, purāṇaḥ, oldest. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that He may smilingly bestow His benediction upon me by opening His lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking His directions. Please repeat responsively. The Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that He may smilingly bestow His benediction upon me by opening His lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking His directions. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The Lord is ever increasingly merciful upon the fallen souls of this material world. The whole cosmic manifestation is a chance for all to improve themselves in devotional service to the Lord. And everyone is meant for that purpose. The Lord expands Himself into many personalities who are either self-expansions or separated expansions, samsas and vibhinamshas. The personalities of the individual souls are His separated expansions, whereas the self-expansions are the Lord Himself. The self-expansions are predominators, and the separated expansions are predominated for reciprocation of transcendental bliss with the supreme form of bliss and knowledge. The liberated souls can join in this blissful reciprocation of predominator and predominated without materially concocted ideas. The typical example of such a transcendental exchange between the predominator and the predominated is the Lord's Rasalila with the gopis. The gopis are predominated expansions of the internal potency, and therefore the Lord's participation in the Rasalila dance is never to be considered like the mundane relationship of man and woman. It is rather the highest perfectional stage of the exchange of feelings between the Lord and the living entities. The Lord gives the fallen souls the chance for this highest perfection of life. Lord Brahma is entrusted with the management of the complete cosmic show, and therefore he prays that the Lord bestow His blessings upon him so that he may execute its purport. Om-jnana-timirasya jnana-gyanashalakaya chakshuram-militam yena tasmai Sri-Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadoti Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahogana Ragunastam Bitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahogana Lalita Sri Vishakam Bitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Asri Tatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Iti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvise Sashunyavadi Pasachade Satarini Vanchakalpatirvyascha Kripa Sindubhyayivacha Patitanam Pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Gaura Tvize Namaha Nityanando Vatutendur Vasuda Pranavalabaha Janavir Jivita Patir Krishna Prema Pradaprabhu Padmavati Sutta Srimam Sachirananda Purvajaha Bhavum Mata Jagat Rakta Rakta Gora Kele Varaha Advaitam Harinadvaitaracharyam Bhakti Shamshanat Bhaktavataram itam shamarvaita acharya shraye Panchatattamakam krishnam bhaktarupa sarupakam Bhaktavataram bhaktakyam namami bhakti shaktikam Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha Nanda gopa kumaraya govindaya namo namaha Nama pankajanabaya nama pankajamaline Nama pankajanetraya namaste pankajagraye Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya namini gaura tvize namaha He Krishna karuna sindhu dina bandho jagatpate Gopesha gopita kanta radha kanta namostute Jayatam srato pango mama madir gatirma sarvasva Padam bujo radha mandana mohano Divyar vrindaranya kalpadrumanda Srimad Radhagara Simhasanastau Srila Govinda Devo Pristyalibi Sevya Manosmarami Sri Mamra Sarasarambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karsan Venuswanai Gopi Gopinath Sri Estunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Drisha Banu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhi Karapara Devata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarvam Kanti Samohini Paraha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Translation again. The Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking his directions. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lagayate grim yakri patamahan vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Okanda Mandala Karam Vyaptaina Chara Charam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So everyone is welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. And before we speak, we seek the blessings of all the assembly of Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, so that we can say something meaningful, relevant for our own spiritual emancipation. In particular, I want to thank His Grace, Janmashtami Prabhu. You actually contributed to my spiritual journey. In 2007, I came to Mayapur to study Bhakti Shastri, and only by His mercy, I studied Bhakti Shastri. I had no money, I had no place to stay. Even though I've been to Mayapur a few times, but I didn't have money to rent a place, and I didn't have any money to feed to take care of viṣādam and all that. When I met Janmashtami Prabhu, he said, Prabhu, don't worry. Once you have come to Mayapur to study Bhakti Shastri, I will facilitate you. And so Janmashtami Prabhu, he gave me free admission into Mayapur Institute. He arranged one devotee, Vrindavan Prabhu, I don't know where he is today. He had a flat. Those days, there were a few buildings in Gornaga, just along the main road. So one devotee there called Vrindavan something Prabhu, he wanted a pujari, somebody to stay in his house and take care of his deities, and he had a whole room to himself. So Janmashtami Prabhu arranged that. And I stayed with this devotee for the whole period of my study in Mayapur Institute. And somehow or the other, by Guru's mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we passed the Bhakti Shastri, and were invited back to do the Bhakti Vaibhav. And then, after the Bhakti Vaibhav, we were requested to teach. And so since then, we have embarked on the journey of studying Srimad Bhagavatam on daily basis, because to teach means you have to learn. So I'm very grateful, Janmashtami Prabhu, for your very kind intervention that has brought me this far. I'm grateful. So today, Lord Brahma is praying. And in fact, this prayer is a common prayer in ISKCON. Can anybody remember where this prayer is said on daily basis? Thank you. In the Pujari department, this is the verse that is recited by the Pujaris every blessed day to wake the deities from on the altar. When I was given this verse, I read through it, and it rang a bell in my mind. I said, this verse is a familiar verse. Where do I know it from? Then I began to contemplate, and I remember, I used to be a pujari in my temple. So this verse, every blessed day, you have to say it. So Brahma's prayer is very important for us. So Brahma is praying that the Lord may open his eyes, his beautiful eyes, and smile at him. Baladev Vidyabhushan mentions in the Vishnu Sahasranam, Udava Sundara Sundo Ratnanaba Slochanaha. Ratnanaba Slochanaha. arko rajasana sringi jayatam sarvavijayi. What Baladev Vidyabhushan is saying is that the lotus eyes of the Lord, Sulochana, is so wonderful that every devotee wants to have a glimpse of the lotus eyes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna's face, Krishna's eyes, everything about Krishna is lotus because they are so beautiful. So Brahma is praying that the Lord may open his transcendental eyes and have a glance at him. And that alone, it says, can uplift the entire cosmic creation. So every day, following in the footsteps of Brahmaji, our pujaris, they are invoking the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he can give his mercy to the devotees and to all conditioned souls who are coming to have darshan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Viśva-vijayāya, mentions that there are many ways the Lord shows his mercy to the devotees and to the conditioned souls. There are unlimited ways. But he says there are three principal ways by which Krishna shows his mercy. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions Aloka Dana Kripa. Aloka Dana Kripa means when the Lord manifests himself before the devotee. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions Vachika Kripa. Vachika Kripa means the words of the Lord. When the Lord speaks, that is what Brahma is asking for here. When the Lord speaks, that is called Vachika Kripa. Then the third principal way the Lord blesses the devotee, shows mercy to the devotee, is called Harda Kripa. Harda Kripa means the Lord manifests his presence within the heart of the devotee, or the Lord empowers the devotee from the core of his heart. So these are the three principal ways by which the Lord shows his mercy to the devotees. In the Krishna book, it is mentioned how one time Lord Krishna wanted to show his Alokana Dana Kripa to the devotees in Mithila. There were two wonderful devotees in Mithila. Bahulaswa, he was a king of Mithila. And Shrutadeva, he was a very poor Brahmana. They were desiring to see Krishna. Krishna was living in Dwaraka. He was Dwarakanath. And these devotees were in northern India. And they were desiring to have this Aloka Dana Kripa. They wanted to have a darshan of the Lord. They wanted to see the form of the Lord. And Krishna understood that these my devotees, they want to have my mercy. So immediately, Krishna arranged with a huge entourage consisting all the sages and brahmanas of Dwaraka to journey all the way to Mithila. And so as Krishna embarked on the journey, the news spread along the way that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is on the way to Mithila. And so what happened? Every living entity along the road, they all line up along the road from Dwaraka to Mithila, so that they can catch a glimpse of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Krishna finally arrived in Mithila, Krishna was so kind to these devotees. He expanded himself and all his entourage, all the sages, brahmanas. He expanded his team into two teams. One team went to Bahulaswa, and one team went to Srutadeva. Bahulaswa were ecstatic, thinking, just see, Krishna is so kind to me. He has manifested his form before me. Meanwhile, Krishna was also with Srutadeva. And Srutadeva was ecstatic. He was dancing with his chadar in the hand, because Krishna had manifested himself before him. So, this is called Aloka Dana Kripa, when the Lord shows his mercy to the devotees. A similar thing happened when Sudama Vipra went to Dwaraka to have the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna received Sudama Vipra in such a wonderful way that when Sudama Vipra was leaving Dwaraka, he was thinking, how wonderful. This Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is a supreme being. But just see how he received me so nicely. Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that Sudama Vipra was thinking, now just see how the husband of the goddess of fortune, he has embraced me, he has welcomed me, he has shown me so much mercy. How wonderful it is. And then he expressed himself. He says, Kwaham daridraha papiyam. Kwa Krishna srinekatane. Now Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, endowed with all the 6 opulences, he has embraced me. And who am I? Brahma Bandhur itismaham. I'm a poor friend of the Brahmanas. Brahma Bandhur itismaham. Bahubhyam parivrambitaham. And even though I'm such a poor entity, Krishna has embraced me with his 2 arms. So, Sudama Vipra was so happy that the Lord did not only show him his form, did not only show him his mercy, but he embraced him. Similarly, when Akrura arrived in Vrindavan under the order of Kamsa to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, Kamsa had arranged to have Krishna and Balaram killed by Kulayapavida, the great elephant who had 1,000 strength of other elephants. Kamsa had arranged to situate this elephant at the entrance of the gate, so that when Krishna and Balaram enters there, the elephant will kill them. And he has sent Akrura to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balaram. So when Akrura arrived in Vrindavan and informed Nanda Maharaj that this was my mission, there was bad news. Everybody in Vrindavan was sad. because they never wanted Krishna to leave Vrindavan. Krishna is a cynosure. Krishna is the center of attraction. Krishna is the darling boy of the Brajavasis. How can they live without Krishna? So when Akrura arrived in Vrindavan to announce that he had brought a chariot to take Krishna and Balaram out of Vrindavan, it was not a news to be entertained. All the Brajavasis, they were very sad, especially the gopis. For the Gopals, Nanda Maharaj instructed them that let us all accompany Krishna and Balaram to Mathura to see what Kamsa wants to do with our boys. Let us take some milk products. Let us gather some taxes and let us go and give to the king and soften his heart so that he can take care of Krishna and Balaram very nicely. So Nanda Maharaj ordered all the cowhead men to load their bullock carts with different items for the king. But for the gopis, what could they do? So all night, the gopis were crying just to hear that Krishna is going to leave them tomorrow, just to hear that Akrura had come to take them away to Mathura. They were crying all night. They couldn't sleep. And so they were thinking, let us approach the elders of Vrindavan. Let us go to the cowhead men and tell them to tell Krishna not to go. But when they learned that the cowhead men were also preparing to go with Krishna, then their sadness increased. So they decided to follow the chariot of Krishna. When Krishna was leaving Vrindavan, the gopis, they followed the chariot. And in fact, it is said at some point, they blocked the road. They formed a human wall not to allow Akrura to take Krishna and Balaram out of Vrindavan. And at some point, they threw away all their shyness and they began to heckle Akrura because Akrura was adamant. In fact, the gopis described Akrura as Kura. Akrura means kind, but Kura means cruel. So they considered that Akrura, he should not answer the name Akrura anymore because he has become so cruel that he has come to take away the lover, the beloved Krishna. How can he be called Akrura? So at some point they began to heckle Akrura. They were trying to drag Akrura down from the chariot. And at that time, Krishna spoke. When Krishna saw that the gopis were feeling very sad, they were crying, and they were exhibiting such sadness, Krishna spoke. Krishna said that, my dear gopis, I have a mission to execute in Mathura. So as soon as I finish with that mission, I will return. So allow Akrura to drive the chariot out of Vrindavan. Let me go to Mathura and execute the mission. And as soon as I finish that mission, I will come back. So when the gopis heard Krishna speak like this, they relented. They allowed Akrura to drive the chariot out of Vrindavan. And Krishna left and never came back. And so that was the beginning of their crying. It is said, when Uddhava went back to Vrindavan as a messenger, when Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to pacify the gopis, Uddhava, he had heard that there is only one river in Vrindavan, that is the Yamuna river. But when he got to Vrindavan, he saw that there were two rivers. And he was wondering, where from the second river? I have learned that there is only one river, Yamuna River. But now there is a second river. And when he inquired, he was told that the second river is the tears of the gopis, the tears of the Brajavasis. They had been crying since Krishna left, and the tears had now formed a river. The important message is that Krishna, he spoke his words of mercy. I shall return. And so those words, Vachika Kripa, maintain the gopis. Those words maintain the Brajavasis. So, Krishna also spoke Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's words. So we can understand that Krishna was thinking of all of us in Kali Yuga. And so, even though he spoke Bhagavad Gita to enlighten his devotee Arjuna, but actually, the Bhagavad Gita was meant for all of us in Kali Yuga. Arjuna did not really need a Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is a constant companion of Krishna. He doesn't need Bhagavad Gita. He's hearing Krishna's words every day. He's seeing Krishna every day. He's associated with Krishna every day. What is the need for a Bhagavad Gita? But Krishna utilized Arjuna's confusion to speak Bhagavad Gita, to give us his Vachika Kripa, the words of Bhagavad Gita, so that in Kali Yuga we can associate with the words of Krishna. The third mercy, Harda Kripa. Harda Kripa is when Krishna enters the heart of a devotee and he empowers the devotee. An example is Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami was reluctant to come out of his mother's womb. So he spent 16 good years in the mother's womb. We can imagine the difficulty his mother was experiencing. When our mothers are pregnant for 9 months, in the 9th month, the weight is so heavy that the mother cannot walk comfortably with a 9-month-old child. So we can think of Sukadeva Goswami, a fully grown boy. At the age of 16, he was still in the mother's womb. What an austerity that the wife of Srila Vyasadeva had to go through. But the reason was, Sukadeva Goswami did not want to come out and get contaminated by the material world. So Vyasadeva had to invite Krishna to come and ask Sukadeva Goswami to come out. For Sukadeva Goswami to come out, Krishna had to empower him. Krishna entered his heart, and that is called Harda Kripa. He entered Sukadeva Goswami's heart and gave him unlimited mercy, empowered him so much, and that is why he became the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami, because he was empowered by Krishna, he presented Srimad Bhagavatam in such a way that anybody can understand. Similarly, it is also mentioned that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also empowered Rupa Goswami. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Vrindavaniyam rasakeli vartam kalena luptam nijasaktim uktaha sancharya rupe vyatanoti punasaha prabhur vidau prak eva loka shrishtim. Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, the Lord enlightened the heart of Lord Brahma with the details of the creation and manifested the Vedic knowledge. In exactly the same way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being anxious to revive Vrindavan pastimes of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. By this potency, Srila Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan, activities almost lost to memory. In this way, he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. So, this mercy of the Lord has manifested Vrindavan. This Harda Kripa that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instilled in the heart of Rupa Goswami has brought about the manifestation of Sri Vrindavan Dham. The Vrindavan we have today is actually Rupa Goswami's hard work, coming from the empowerment that he received from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Is Krishna himself who appeared in this age to empower his devotees for the preaching mission. Saita Govinda Shakshat Chaitanya Gosai. That in the age of Kali, Krishna himself, Govinda himself, he takes the dress of a devotee and appearing as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he established the Yugadam for the benediction, for the liberation, for the emancipation of all conditioned souls. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj prays, Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tam Karunanavam Khalo Api Asti Gudeyam Bhakti Yenapi Prakashitam. That even though Kali Yuga is very difficult, even though Kali Yuga is full of vicious habits, even though Kali Yuga is full of bad qualities, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so kind that he established this confidential program of devotional service in such a wonderful way that all the living entities in Kali Yuga can benefit. And what did Mahaprabhu do? Krishna Bhavamritam Hiyaha Aswadyan. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tasted the holy names of Krishna. Krishna Bhavamritam Hiyaha. The sweetness of Krishna's names were tasted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he initiated his followers into the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. And in this way, Mahaprabhu established the program for delivering the whole world. This is the manifestation of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that mercy that Brahma is praying for in this verse is available to every living entity. The Lord has appeared in this world. He has established the Sankirtan movement. He has distributed the holy name of Krishna to every town and village, and giving everyone the chance to chant the holy names of Krishna and become delivered from the clutches of Maya. And in this way, the living entity can reinstate his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport. Srila Prabhupada mentions that the Lord expands himself in many personalities who are either self-expansions, swamsas, or separated expansions, vibhinamshas. The personalities of individual souls are his separated expansions, whereas the self-expansions are the Lord himself. The self-expansions are the predominators, and the separated expansions are the predominated for reciprocation of transcendental bliss with the supreme form of bliss and knowledge. And then Prabhupada says, the liberated souls can join in this blissful reciprocation of predominator and predominated without materially concocted ideas. Without the mercy of the Supreme Lord, without the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how can we become eligible? How can we become qualified to receive this reciprocation of the mercy of Krishna? So by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we all have the opportunity to relish this reciprocation of the mercy of the Lord simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the mercy that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended to give all of us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So any comment or question? I think we only have 1 more minute. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for a wonderful feast of words. I thoroughly enjoyed your class. Thank you.
It's Prabhu's mercy.
I want to share similarity of this particular verse where Lord Brahma is glorifying Supreme Personality of Godhead by saying he can uplift all the living entities.
Wonderful.
So we are reading in Russian Bhagavatam class, 10th canto, chapter 75, where Maharaj Yudhishthira desired that the reason for the Rajasuya sacrifice was actually to make sure all the living entities accept the Supreme Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was his innermost desire to perform the sacrifice yajna. So similarly, after going through that verse, I realized that Srila Prabhupada's desire is the same. He wants the whole world and the universe to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest source of happiness and peace.
Haribol. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare